Hola, my name is Zuri, and today I thought I'd take you through a tutorial on how to get into teaser. So teaser is one of the exercises that comes towards the end of the Pilates practice. And here's the really interesting fact, is if you do all the exercises in the classical sequence with precision, with flow, you will have success in your teaser. So let's break it down. Come and join me. When we think about the first part of the Pilates practice, in your practice, right at the very beginning, there's a strong connection to your arms. So one of the first exercises is raising the arms, fingertips towards the ceiling, and then pressing the arms all the way down. When you do this exercise right at the very beginning of your practice, what I'm going to encourage you to do is take the arms and just hover them over the mat. So you're using precision and control to raise the arms up and precision and control to lower the arms down. So quite often what I notice is a lot of people will come down to the mat and then their arms just soften and let go. So we want to engage the arms on the way up. We want to engage the arms on the way down. So there's no release. There's no letting go of that connection and strength through your upper body. You want to keep building on it. So by the time you've done 4 or maybe 5 arm raises, towards the end, you should start to feel a little fatigue in your arms. Now raise the arms up and hold them there. What if you add on now your Pilates curl, and we want to come right up and over the breastbone, so we're lifting to the tips of the shoulder blade. Again, notice when I'm coming up in this one, I'm not dropping or collapsing the arms, but the arms are just as strong. What I've done now is layered and added on in this flow sequence and continued to flow. The arms are the same arm movements I used before, but now I'm adding on that Pilates curl. So now, how many times do I lift and lower the arms? Well, it's probably getting up to nearly 20 times. So yes, I'm going to start to feel that fatigue in the arms. But it's a small range of movement. You're only lifting your own body weight, so keep going. Try not to collapse the arms. We'll go for one more here. Exhale, curl over the breastbone. The arms are strong. Now, if I was to lower the head, neck and shoulders, I could have just the tips of the fingers touching, but you'll notice the arm muscles are still switched on. I'm not letting go. Okay, this is quite often something we see. We're switching the muscles on, then we're letting them go. They should be on all the time and engaged all the time. So keep reminding yourself of that in your practice. So now, to this, let's add on. Lift the legs up to tabletop position. I've started with one leg. Notice how I hinge from here. So there's no movement at the knee joint. Watch my knee joint. Nothing changes. The hinge comes from this point. Now there is space between the knees. So I take 2 fists and put them together. There's about that distance there. Squeeze the knees onto the outside of your knuckles, and we should start to feel the inner thighs and the quads engaging. So the heels are touching, but the knees are apart. The legs aren't like this, okay? So again, nothing going on here in my quads. The legs are kind of hanging in this position. But if I make 2 fists together and have them with my knees just on the outside, and then I squeeze on the outside of my knuckles, I take the arms away. I'm now engaging my quads. Okay, big difference. So there's a difference between having the legs here and holding the legs here. And that's what we want to be working on. Now, raise those arms again. Breath in. Exhale, curl the head, neck and shoulders. So now notice I put those 3 movements together. The arm movements that you started at the beginning with the head, neck and shoulders curling off the mat. And then to that, I've added on that strong connection down through the legs. So let's think about that. You were working everything from the tips of your fingers all the way down to your toes and everything in between. So everything is working. I'm working my upper body, I'm working the core, I'm working the legs, all the way down towards the toes. Let's go 2 more. Exhale, curl up. Can still feel my quads engage. Last one. Exhale, curl up. Little pause. Just the tips of the fingers touch the mat. Lower the head, neck and shoulders, lower the feet. Notice how my arm muscles are still switched on and engaged. Now stretch the legs along the mat. Flex the feet, so we want flexion of the feet, again because I want to engage my quad muscles. Raise the arms up, you've already done this exercise, and let's go into a roll up. So the arms are strong, flex the feet, switch on your quads, exhale, curl off the mat, breath out. Reach forward, maybe stretch and flex the feet a little bit more, and slowly curl back to the mat. So this is the first roll up, and you see this in the warm-up sequence in your Pilates practice. Exhale, curl up. And if you can do this movement, which I know some people struggle with, but remember this is one of the exercises in the warm-up sequence of Pilates. If you can do this, you can do teaser. Exhale, curl up. Now what you'll notice is, again, I'm engaging the arms and most importantly also engaging the legs. So I'm stretching the legs, stretching out through to the tips of my fingers. The arms are engaged. Exhale, the head curls off the mat. Keep curling. Ooh, I could feel that one there. The legs just starting to lift, a little bit of fatigue setting in. I've already done my own Pilates practice before this tutorial here this morning. Last one, breath in. Focus on your breath. Much better. And again, what changed for me then was my focus. I had to focus on keeping those legs and those heels grounded. Now, once I'm back here, bring the arms down, arms are strong, walk the feet back towards the body. So I would continue with the rest of my practice, but because this is a tutorial here today. So then, if I was to extend that roll up and make it look like a teaser, I would lift the legs up. Now remember, you've already practiced this position. Always hinge from the hips. Knee stacks over hips. Now remember, 2 fists, 2 knuckles together. Let the knees squeeze onto the outside of your knuckles. So can you feel your inner thighs? So if I came along and tried to push your legs, they are not going to move. They are solid and firm and strong. We've already practiced this, remember, in the warm-up sequence. Raise the arms up. The arms are active. As you curl off the mat, just like your curl up you did before, you're going to straighten the legs out. So we're going to work the whole body together. Exhale, curl up. Squeeze your ankles, your knees, your inner thighs together. Now the distance between your arms and your legs wants to remain the same. So sometimes I see the arms down here or too high up. So look at that space between my arms and the legs. They're the same distance. Lower down, and let's just gently bring the knees in towards the chest. So basically what I did there was I added on the roll up, which you've already done in the warm-up sequence, but this time with strong legs, legs in tabletop position. Make sure you're engaging those inner thighs, quads are switched on, pressing out into the toes, the heels squeezing together, the arms engaged. Imagine you've got a big Swiss ball in your hands and you're squeezing it. Raise the arms up but slightly back. The arms move forwards, the rest of the spine follows. Breath out. And then go for length. So you want to reach the arms, reach the toes, point your toes. Feel those inner thighs again. My quads are switching on. If someone came along and tried to move my legs, they're not going to move. They're firm, they're strong, they're solid. Curl back down and bring the knees in. And again, the other part of the teaser is making sure that I'm still continuing to breathe when I'm at the top. So let's do that one more time. So legs in tabletop position, arms extended up. Inhale. Exhale. Now breathe here, just as you would naturally. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, roll down and go for a little gentle hug. Now again, I can hear some of you saying, I still can't get up with those legs in tabletop position. Yes, you can add some support. So this is what the support would look like. Tabletop position. Make sure your quads are switching on. Your arms are strong. You've been strengthening them all the way through the practice. Raise the arms. Now, curl your head, neck and shoulders first off the mat, like your Pilates curl. You practice that in the warm-up sequence. Reach to the back of your thighs. Let the hands just sit there. Push the back of your thighs into your hands. So you're pushing your legs into your hands and then slowly curl back down. So what I used then was my legs. So the hands sit on the back of the thighs and the hands stay there. You're not pulling the legs here because the legs will come in towards the body. Your legs are pushing that way, away from you. And if the hands just rest there, curl the head off the mat always first. Push the back of your thighs lightly into your hands. Look at my elbows as I do this one. The elbows are still bent. The elbows are still bent. I'm using the legs as a little lever and a pull, and I'm sitting here behind my sit bones. You can keep your arms there if you need that little bit of support. And you roll down. And the key is try and get that control of movement. We want fluid movement on the way up and fluid movement on the way down. So look, one more time. Hands on the back of my thighs. Curl head, neck and shoulders. Look down towards the center of the body. Now push the back of your thighs into your hands. And that's your teaser. Now, give this a go, and what I recommend is if you look back into some of my other videos, you will see a couple of Pilates warm-up practices that you can do, because you really want to be doing teaser when you're nice and warm, hence why the teaser is right towards the end of the practice. Yes, it is strong, but if you are practicing every one of the exercises in the repertoire of the classical Pilates mat correctly, with focus. Notice when I didn't focus on my legs, how my legs popped up because my mind was distracted. I was talking to you guys, but it's about focus. It's about control. You've got to stay in flow. We don't want stop and start. We don't want muscles switching on and then relaxing. We want engagement. So let me know, have a little practice with this one with me through this video. Let me know what you thought. And if you would rather have more practices where I come in and we do a practice together, or if you'd like more tutorials like this that are going to help you for your best Pilates practice to support you in the best way that I can, please let me know, give me feedback, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.